Hey guys, Scar9 here, and welcome back to my channel today. In this video, we're going to be looking at something a little bit different for my channel, which is going to be diving into the lore of Destiny itself. Now, this is something I've been wanting to get more into for quite a while, but I couldn't really find an appropriate time to do so. So I figured what better way to start getting deeper into this kind of content than really to start looking at things that will have a huge impact in Destiny 2 potentially. Well, in this video we are going to be examining the possibility that the Taken King subclasses will not be affected by the Cabal invasion and will be present in some capacity within the storyline of Destiny 2. This entire theory stems from one small detail within the Rally the Troops trailer. Within this trailer, we don't see any supers or other Guardian abilities used except for when Ikora Rey uses her Stormcaller melee on one of the Cabal. This is very interesting, as at the beginning of the trailer we can obviously see the Traveler covered up in some type of force field, which for reasons I will discuss in a second would actually stop the Guardians from being able to use their light abilities. If this were actually the case, why would Ikora still be able to project lightning from her hand? Well, I suppose probably the easiest answer would be that this fight is taking place before the Cabal incapacitate the Traveler. However, if that were really the case, why aren't Cayde and Zavala also using their abilities? I think it's pretty much indisputable that that would be the easiest way to repel the Red Guard invasion. So because of that, I'm immediately going to be knocking that theory out of the way. It does not make any sense in the context of the battle scene itself. Now, the reasons we are able to use our supers is because the Traveler gives us the ability to channel and further utilize its light. So this does not mean that we can use any single light source as a power source. This means that the Traveler actually is constantly producing this light that we are able to use and get our abilities from. So when the Cabal cover the Traveler in a force field, none of that light can escape to the environment and thus we can't use our main subclasses. However, my theory is that this only applies to the original 6 subclasses from year 1 of Destiny. It has been hinted many times that the Taken King subclasses actually do not come from the Traveler, but rather stem from other sources of energy and light. For instance, in the Stormcaller subclass Grimoire card, you can find the quote, "Meditate, focus, draw the static within, the arc is inside all life." This quote suggests that the power source for the Stormcallers isn't the Traveler, but rather the Stormcallers' own bodies, as well as potentially free-flowing arc within the environment. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any gameplay of any of the 3 subclass quests, but I will have them linked down below in the description from other YouTubers, so you guys can see what I'm talking about when I bring up points such as that one. Another piece of evidence that supports these subclasses being completely separate from the Traveler can actually be found during the Sunbreaker subclass quest. Your objective during this mission is to focus the sun's light on the Burning Shrine map to a single spot on what is referred to as the Forge. Once this light is focused, solar energy forms in the middle of the Forge, and your Titan can walk up to it and thus receive their solar energy for their subclass. This shows that the source of this power is in fact not the Traveler, but rather the sun, hence the name Hammer of Sol, which literally translates to Hammer of the Sun. Finally, in the quest to get the Night Stalker subclass, we don't receive the Void abilities from the Traveler. Instead, we actually grab it from a dead Guardian's hand. We are able to take this Void energy straight from his body, which shows that it is in fact not from the Traveler. Whenever we were resurrected by the Ghost, we inherently had our subclasses as part of the light being imbued in our body. However, this is not how it worked with the Void subclass. We actually had to take it from a source that already contained this Void energy. Now, the source of Void energy is fairly unknown, but it seems to be from the spaces between the light and the darkness themselves, otherwise referred to as the Void. So, as all of this shows, there is strong evidence that the Taken King subclasses are from other sources of light and energy, and thus we shouldn't be too afraid when the Traveler gets trapped within the force field. However, if this is the case, what does that mean for Destiny 2's story? I believe that in order to maintain a straight progression system within Destiny 2, we need to lose every single subclass in some form or fashion. We know from the Amazon description of Destiny 2 that we will be fighting on other planets to attain different combat abilities. However, this isn't something we would need to do if we already had the Taken King subclasses. So in my opinion, we do need to lose these in some way, but I don't know how we would do it. That's not a question I have an answer for. And just before I end the video, I actually want to touch on one thing I see that I forgot to touch on. I mentioned that Cayde and Zavala aren't using their subclass abilities during the fight. However, if the Taken King subclasses are being able to be used without the Traveler's Light, they could technically use those, correct? And the answer to that question is no. Cayde 6 is not a Night Stalker, and we know this because during the Night Stalker quest, he makes a very big deal about Tevis and his importance to the Vanguard because he is a Night Stalker, and there aren't many of those left. In addition to that, Zavala and the Sunbreakers actually have a very volatile relationship and don't like each other at all, and I feel like if Zavala was able to use Sunbreaker, that wouldn't really be a point of tension. So we can go ahead and knock those questions out of the way because neither of them would be able to use their abilities without the inherent subclasses from Vanilla Destiny. So that is all of my info for today, but I actually do have a couple questions for you guys. If I'm correct and the Traveler actually does not supply the energy for the Taken King subclass abilities, how could we possibly lose them in Destiny 2? What could the Cabal possibly do to take these from us? Another theory is that they will just be present in Destiny 2 and we'll just have to start that subclass over. However, I feel like that will have a negative effect on the gameplay as we have already seen that subclass before. I'd love to know what you guys think about all of this, so let me know down in the comment section below what you were thinking. If you are interested in further discussion of this, we are going to be talking about this on this week's episode of The Last Word, which is taking place in just over an hour. In addition to that, if you're interested in me further exploring the lore of the Destiny universe going into Destiny 2, let me know by leaving a like rating and sharing this video with your friends. If you're interested in seeing the video on screen, you can click the annotation to be taken to it. Finally, subscribe for more awesome Destiny content, and I'll see you guys in my next video.